Welcome to the Elk Season Podcast, Season 4, Episode 23. Today is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. We are 290 days away from Elk Season. We are the Chambers Brothers. My name is Harold.
I'm David.
And tonight on the Elk Season Podcast,
We've got a whole bunch of grizzly stories, a whole bunch of wolf stories, some elk hunter stories. Sorry, I usually am a little bit more specific, but the list is kind of long.
It's a long one. I know we've had a couple weeks off.
Yeah. And so it's, but there's some very grisly stories, to be honest. And, but there's also some poaching. So a whole bunch of interesting information going on related to the conservation of wolves, grizzly bears, but even our own efforts locally and statewide on how to help keep our opportunities for hunting alive through conservation efforts from Idaho Fish and Game and others to keep poachers accountable. So all that and more, probably,
Hear.
because that's what we do on the Elk Season Podcast.
Here, here. I got a king-size Kit Kat. My son goes, "Hey, can I get a king-size Kit Kat and split it with you?" Yeah. He hands me basically a full-size Kit Kat.
Delicious.
He's like, "Dad, can we cheers? Can we cheers the Kit Kat?" I go, "Yeah, we can." Boom. Knock it. So, gosh, this is a tough one. Where are we starting?
We're talking about poaching. So you have brought forth a story of a poacher, an Idaho poacher busted in Wyoming.
Yeah.
And that seemed that was news to me. I had not come across that. I came across a different story more locally.
I know, but
to us.
it's interesting how these stories mirror each other.
Yeah.
Because they were both discovered by a traffic stop. Right?
Yeah.
These guys coming out of the South Hills had a traffic stop, and they had 4 extremely trophy deer. Those muleys out of the South Hills. They're incredible. And he goes, so the cop was a little suspicious. That started a very deep investigation.
Yeah.
That led to this sentencing that happened here in Twin Falls just last week or the week before.
Yeah, just last week. And that was 19 convictions, 19 people busted.
Yeah.
It's a huge ring.
Huge.
And we've talked about something earlier this year about there was and I wonder if this was part of it. The taxidermist was it Buell or Filer?
Filer, yeah.
That was keeping records erroneously to show,
right.
The connection.
Right. And something, I did read a little bit about what the judge said, right? Because the judge is telling him, because the sentences, after a certain point, right, they cooperate.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody guilty cooperates, right? But the judge was not lenient in this case, and he said why. Right? He goes, "These are the South Hills, right? You have a 1 in 9 chance of getting a deer if you get a tag."
Yeah.
If you get a tag, you could wait 10 years and only get 1 deer out of the South Hills, and look what you guys did.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
Absolute shame on you.
Down. Yeah.
And that felt good. I'm glad the judge covered that.
And I like, even though these might take a while to gather the evidence is substantial. It's irrefutable.
Yeah.
And people are being held accountable, and that's important. We need that message out there.
Yeah. There were gasps in the courtroom. The sentence was so stiff.
Yeah, I remember. I do remember reading that because people were like, "Oh, how bad will this be?" And when they came down with the sentencing, people were like,
"Lifetime ban."
It's that bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking that seriously. I appreciate that. There was
and thank you to our local conservation officers, people who work for the Idaho Fish and Game, anybody who is part of the investigation to bring justice to this situation, because we know how hard it is to not be successful every year, only to find out that people are skirting around the issue and being dishonest about it to find success it's aggravating.
Let me rephrase that: to not be successful every year. It's not just every year I'm not successful.
Where is he sitting in relation to me?
Every year I'm not successful.
I have success in my own way. It's just not the success that people would consider life-sustaining if this was a hunter-gatherer society. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I have success in other ways. But in Wyoming, something similar, apparently. But not the same thing. But A perpetrator killed 4. Well, is this the same? It's not the same story. This says 4 large bucks, but the image from Twin Falls that you brought has a picture of 5 bucks. So for the 2-year investigation, had 5, but it's something. But you said the parallels.
Yeah,
it's very
it's
similar,
insane.
so just crazy. But getting people to be held accountable is important. Understand what your I don't know. Just if you're appalled or surprised at your punishment, you needed it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got another story. Before we start, what's next? The Grizz?
Well, the next one was going to be an elk hunter in Idaho that didn't make it out.
Okay, let's back up then right now real quick, because I found another story. They're working on private landowner tags. If you are the landowner and you own X number of land, then you get X number of tags.
Yeah.
They're working on passing a law that says you can auction those off to the highest bidder.
Okay.
Which is terrible, in my expert outdoor opinion. Right? Those are not your elk. Mm-hmm. You do not. All of ours, I have a serious problem with how outfitters get tags.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah. If you're going to hunt an elk in Idaho, you should get a tag first, and then you should pay the outfitter.
Yeah.
The other way around is how they get it, how they get around it. You can get a tag every year if you're willing to pay an outfitter enough money to get his tags.
Yeah.
And it's a really unfair.
Seems like a slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope. And I know I'm passionate about it when I talk about it. But to take it one step further and go, well, the landowner has so many tags. And, first of all, what kind of dirtbag you got to be for a landowner to sell to the highest bidder? And then what kind of dirtbag wants to pay that much money for an elk tag? I mean, honestly, honest dirtbags on both ends of that, right? I know guys will go back east and they'll have a big head, they'll have a big trophy, and they'll be able to show it off, but it's so hollow.
There's something inauthentic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
Well, yeah, it takes away opportunities for people who are legitimately trying to do that. It's almost akin to how many years does it take for you to get a tag somewhere, let alone have somebody come in and be able to just, get a tag and then do their thing. So.
Right. And it's frustrating. So Idaho has changed the way you get tags, and we'll definitely talk about that next time, because we got to talk to Jared, make sure he gets a tag.
That's right. It's coming up.
He called me last week. He goes, my elk tag's still good. They got 6 weeks of elk hunting in Montana to mid-November.
They're very lucky there.
Man. So he tried to talk me into coming up, and I'm like, oh, geez, buddy. Anyway, and I wish I could have. Maybe I should have just called work and go, I'm not coming in for a while.
Wouldn't that be nice?
You're right. Yeah. You won't miss me. It'll be okay.
Speaking of going out hunting, though, we had an elk hunter harvest, but then was unsuccessful in getting the harvest out, and he perished in a storm. I guess there was some weather that moved on him. And
I often say that the most dangerous aspects of the wilderness are dehydration and hypothermia. Mm-hmm. I did cover it this way on my Idaho Fish and Game Report on my radio show. I talked about they ran ads in Montana. Growing up in Montana, they ran ads in the wintertime talking about the 2 most difficult activities on the human heart. Number 1 was shoveling snow.
Yeah.
And number 2 is pushing a car. Something we did a lot of both. In Montana. You had to.
Yeah.
You had to shovel snow and you had to get your car out of it.
Yep.
And so those were dangerous. And I remember doing those activities and going, I could feel my heart pounding.
Yep.
And the only other place I felt my heart pound like that was hunting elk. I worked so hard climbing those hills. Being in elk country is another level. And when you get after it in elk country, your heart is screaming.
Yeah, the amount of in the short amount of time I got to spend in elk country this year, I could definitely tell the conditioning my body went through from opening weekend to the final weekend.
Yeah.
I was booking it up those hills.
Yeah.
It was
different.
Kind of incredible.
It was different. Yeah.
I can't believe how much time I cut off our typical hike.
Yeah. That's insane. That's
hour,
insane.
Man. And I didn't feel like I was pushing myself any harder than any other time.
Right.
It's the conditioning of the process
right.
and the lightening of my pack because I started off heavy.
Right. Right. You go, why did I carry this all the way up and stay there for 2 days and just carry it back down? Why do I do
multiple things, but it also goes to show why people, run with weights on if they're in competitive sports, because when you take them off, you have that.
So there's a new, I know I talk a lot about fitness. My wife owns a CrossFit gym. I read fitness books. And one of the most recent fitness books I read talked about how rucking is the best thing you can do. Rucking is running with a heavy weight, right? 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why has the military gone to that type of training? Because when you put your body under stress, your body responds to that stress.
Yeah.
And having a heavy weight, you don't move fast enough to hurt yourself. So you actually gain more mass. I used to tell Bram, you gain more mass by rucking than you do by traditional gym work. And there's a huge shift to going from gym and even CrossFit style workouts to rucking just for the sake of bone density, especially as you get older, right? You want bone density, you want muscle density. So rucking is a really big thing. Cool. And good for you. And you can feel it too. When we ruck for elk.
Yeah.
Right.
I need to ruck more often during the year.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel how that experience changes you, and you feel good coming out of elk season.
Yeah.
Right. You feel light as a feather, right? Real mobile. Anyway, good stuff.
Yeah. Grizzlies. Whew.
Yeah.
Lots of grizzlies. So, an elk hunter, speaking to that, was attacked by a grizzly. And that was in eastern Idaho, was it not?
No, this was a Sealy Swan area of Montana.
Oh.
This was 2 grizzlies.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. The story was a hunter kills 2 grizzlies in self-defense.
No, this is an elk hunter who died after being attacked.
Oh, I think it's out of Alberta. He died like 6 weeks after being attacked.
That's right.
So,
but we're not too far away from this other incident where somebody killed two grizzlies.
So which one are we talking about?
Well, the elk hunter who passed after being attacked by a grizzly bear was where we started. But then you brought up the hunter shooting grizzlies in self-defense.
So let's talk about the first one, which is the hunter dies, and that is it's absolutely awful.
Condolences.
Absolutely awful. Because you think a grizzly bear attack might go one way, and you think, oh, it'll be over in a day. Man, that really sucks. That's a big struggle. And not only that, but 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, you and I on the Elk Season Podcast talked about the grizzly hunting ban in Alberta.
Yeah.
And now they're like, well, there's too many grizzlies. We need to do something to manage the population. And here we are, right back at it again, going, they're talking about lifting the ban on hunting grizzlies. Thank you. Okay.
That's
management.
Hopefully it goes somewhere. And the active management of predators is an important thing to keep in mind. The grizzly charges. So there's enough of a population. The grizzly in the driveway is very real.
Very, very real.
So somebody in an ATV or some sort of off-road vehicle being charged by a grizzly.
I have to say this is allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right? There's no scars. Right? There's no video. There's just... This totally happened to me. So take a little grain of salt. I like to believe everybody that comes out of the woods with their heart beating and has a story to tell. But that doesn't mean that there's Bigfoot in Pennsylvania. Okay, because I saw one of those stories this week too.
Yeah.
A very credible sighting of Bigfoot in Pennsylvania.
I'm sure it was credible.
And so with the grizzly bears.
Yeah.
So he talked about the grizzly bear chasing him, and he went faster and faster, and the grizzly bear was still behind him. I just talked about what it said about the grizzly in the driveway, how they're instinctual. They just see something and they want to kill it. They just see something. Oh, that's moving at just the right speed, and it looks like it's just the right size. I can take it down. And so they go for it. Now, I had an incident out at the farm. We have a farm. I used to tell people, if my beautiful autistic daughter got cancer and the Make-A-Wish Foundation gave her a wish and she wished for a cat, my wife would not let her bring it home. That's how much my wife is against cats. Okay. But we have a new farmhouse and we have outside cats.
Yeah.
And my wife's okay with that. Okay. And my daughter is over the moon with it.
Yeah, you've talked a little bit about that to me outside of the podcast.
Yeah. And they ran out of food. And my wife's like, "Oh no, they'll catch the mice. They're hungry, they'll be fine. Don't buy them food."
Yeah.
And I said, "Nope. We're going into winter. Please buy them food. There was food here when we got here. They were feeding them all summer. And trust me, they see a laser, they want to kill it. Right? I haven't seen a mouse since I've been here.
Yeah.
So give them plenty of food. Make sure they have food." So we bought them some food, which I think is the right thing. And today I found a headless mouse
nice.
At the end of my walkway.
Okay.
Right?
They're saying thank you.
Yeah. They just want to kill. They see it and they want to kill. And that is a grizzly sees somebody on a bicycle or a four-wheeler just moving at the right speed.
Yep.
And it is probably going to get worse as those vehicles get quieter with electricity versus internal combustion engines. Right? They're just going to be quieter. They're going to look sleek. And
it's going to sound more like a running prey.
Yeah, very much. Very much.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you're going to be able to get a lot closer to a lot more grizzly bears.
Yeah.
Because they hear the motor a long ways away. They're gone.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll be like, I'm moving out.
You get inside their fight zone before it's, you know, and it's just too late. It's too late.
You better wear a spike helmet.
Yeah.
And body
armor.
armor.
Blowhorns and pepper spray. Actually, did we even put the Japanese bears on the list today?
We might as well just throw them in right now.
Japanese bears. There's a whole bunch of bear attacks happening in Japan.
Yes.
There was 5 people injured in 3 separate attacks.
What?
So I Googled hunting bears in Japan. Actually, I ChatGPT'd hunting bears in Japan. And they're like, oh yeah, there's a hunting season in every prefecture. And there's 2 kinds of bears. There's a brown bear and a black bear. Brown bears aren't a problem.
Wow.
Because I think, as we discussed before, they stay on the beach. They like big, fatty, dead things, right? But the black bears like the human stuff.
Yeah.
They like human food and they like the garbage. And so there's a growing conflicts that I imagine would have to be settled with hunting management.
Yeah.
More different hunting management strategies than what they have now. But one of the big takeaways this week was, because bear attacks are such a big thing to be talking about in Japan right now, somebody came out and said they don't like the sound of an empty water bottle being crinkled.
Dude, I don't like that sound.
Did you get attacked by a bear? Yeah. Did you have your water bottle?
Right.
No. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You should have crinkled your water bottle.
Anyway. And it's the thin plastic. You know, the ones that pop in your vehicle as you're driving down the road when they're empty that make you think a rock just hit your windshield.
Yeah. Those. Anyways,
I'm going to stay safe in the wild now.
So I think there's some politician touting, and maybe it's true, I don't know, touting that a crinkled water bottle can save you from a bear. Oh, the times we live in. And that's in Japan.
Hey, anything can happen. Their prime minister is an Iron Maiden fan, openly. And that was a big sticking point for some of the politicians in Japan, but it was a big selling point for many people in Japan, apparently.
Right on. Okay, cool. Hey, different strokes, different folks with different strokes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Should we go wolves?
Yeah, because that's an easy transition because they had to kill some wolves in California.
California's gray wolves.
We just talked about hunting as a form of management. And these wolves that had, they were only reintroduced to Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. Right?
Right.
They bred and spread to Washington, Oregon, and California.
Yeah.
So, and this is something, again, 2 or 3 years ago on the Elk Season Podcast, we talked about, we predicted. When they got into Colorado, we knew they're going to spread to all 4 corner states.
Yes.
Right? They're just coming back. And so now we have California dealing with this issue and some very serious problems of cattle.
Yeah.
Right. The wolves were taking down some cattle. And so for the first time in more than 100 years, I think, the California Fish and Game Office had to cull wolves, had to go out and shoot wolves. And it's what should have been done probably sooner. And California's learning some lessons.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that, because they've had the third reintroduction in Colorado now.
Yeah.
And we've talked about the spread of wolves from Colorado into New Mexico. And I think there's talk of the current presidential administration working to delist wolves, so that they're managed by each individual state.
That'd be interesting.
Yes, because Coloradoans want wolves. All right, they voted for them.
Yeah.
So if you say, "Hey, can we have a hunting season?" and Colorado goes, "No, not yet." Right? So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. It's really crazy with the wolves in California and Oregon. I think I have a wolf Oregon story.
Yeah. So, but just because we're in Colorado right now, that current administration has banned importing new wolves from Canada to Colorado. Right. So I there's some politics there I'm not going to get into, but it's an interesting thing to note. But at the same time, they want the states to manage their own wolf populations. But with wolves dying in Colorado,
well, some people do, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's very complicated.
I said there's politics and red tape and complications. It's never a straight arrow. Ask Idaho how it's been handling the wolf reintroduction.
A lot of people say better than most. Better than most. Well, Montana or Wyoming. Those are the only models we have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but wolves in Southern Oregon.
Yeah.
What do you have with that?
So
that wolf pack is getting huge, apparently.
Yeah.
Or bigger.
Right. And so it says they're growing in size and boldness, and I just thought it was rhetoric. Right? It just sounds partisan. If they're growing in number, they're going to be more bold because they're going to need more food. They're just going to be more hungry.
Yeah.
And so, unless they're giving specific data like, hey, this wolf pack is up 32% this year, we have more wolves in this area. Unless they're giving data like that, really the article seems worthless.
Right.
And it just seems, they're just looking for clicks like most everybody else. But again, there's more elk in Oregon than there is Idaho or Montana.
That's impressive.
I know.
It's a small state comparatively.
And I know. And wolves are really mostly in Eastern Oregon.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of coastal elk.
Yeah.
But they will be moving out there. They will be moving through California. They will be moving New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah out of Colorado. So, and that's just the fact.
Yeah.
Those are just the facts.
There's a lot going on, and it's fun to keep monitoring it to see what progress is made, what setbacks there might be, what stories unfold. Ultimately, we have to learn how to coexist, or we're not going to have the experience of nature that we so desire. So
and on the other side of that, and I know I talk. I don't know if I talk. Do I sound like I'm pro wolf? Because I'm very pro wolf, right?
Could you clarify if you're pro wolf? Just say it out loud.
I also bought a wolf hunting rifle in the past 2 weeks. Specifically, it's a 6.5 PRC, is specifically for long distance because wolves are hard to kill. They are, the average shot is 650 to 800 yards. You got to be able to kill something that weighs 150 pounds from that distance.
They're elusive creatures, even in Idaho.
Yeah.
You know how many awesome creatures we've caught on camera? Many. How many wolves?
Never.
And we've put them up in place where we know wolves are because we've seen them in person.
Yes.
We've heard them. I heard a wolf howl in the middle of the night when I went up over Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy to think that. Got a big old fat black bear over the hunting season.
Yeah, more than once.
Yeah.
And never a wolf.
Never a wolf.
Man, they're very elusive. They have huge territories. And there's some wolf Facebook pages that will just say, hey, here's a track. The snow was right. So the track has to be fresh because the snow was laid a day ago. Here is the Latin long. And they'll be like, oh, we can start to put together where this pack is and sort of be like, oh, well, maybe in a week they'll be back around this way or something like that. Cool. Anyway, so using metadata like that to help us hunt wolves now and help manage their population here in Idaho. And we'll pass all those secrets down
to whoever wants them
over to Colorado and New Mexico when it's time.
Yeah.
When it's time.
I actually found another story hiding on this page after I scratched everything off. This one emerged.
Yeah.
Because we haven't talked about it yet. But it seems like a good ending.
Okay.
A more positive one than some of the other stories we've talked about tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
But on a joking way, I'd love to just go meander in the forest for weeks on end.
I told you.
Under the right conditions, this would be fun. But there was a hunter who got lost in California.
Yeah.
Who was gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I posit he just needed to get away. But he apparently wasn't trying to do that.
You're right. Typically when we go out for a weekend, 2 or 3 nights, by the time it's time to go, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's end this. I got to get back to civilization. But after 5 days, I remember that last day. I'm like, you can leave me here.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I felt really comfortable. Right. I was a little low on hot cocoa and powdered potatoes, but other than that, I felt really comfortable.
We know the secrets to the fire swamp. So whenever you feel like dying, go ahead and visit.
That's right. And as far as the ROWSs, what is it?
Rodents of unusual sizes?
That's ROUSs.
They don't even exist.
I don't think they exist.
But no, you get to a point where you get a level of comfort. There's a serenity to it.
Yeah.
There's an appreciation for the existence among nature. And it's just like your position is valid.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's all I wanted. Okay, we can move on.
I thought you were pulling on that. Why didn't you just come out and say that an hour ago?
I know. It's better when you get it yourself.
I just wanted to make sure you understood fully. So you passed the test. Thanks for playing.
Yeah. So, okay. Until next time, don't skip leg day.
Cheers. I'm out. I got nothing.
Goodbye.
In the morning light, before dawn, bow grip tight, heart beating strong. Through the forest, ancient giants roam, in the land where the wild calls me home. Through the whispering pines and the autumn breeze, driven by the chase, crisp air I breathe. With every step I take, earth beneath my feet. In nature's beauty where the hunter and elk meet. The mountains rise, kissed by the sun. In September, where I belong. Bugles echo loudly through the veil, a symphony of an ancient tale. Through the whispering pines and the autumn breeze, driven by the chase, crisp air I breathe. With every step I take, earth beneath my feet. In nature's beauty where the hunter and elk meet. Silent as the morning mist, I travel on with careful grace. Every shadow, every sound surrounds me in this wild embrace. The challenge and the thrill, the patience and the skill, In the dance of life and nature, my heart's forever filled. As the sun sets, shadows long and deep, I find my place with the memories I keep. The chase and the beauty of a day gone by. Deep in the mountains, my spirit cries. Through the whispering pines and the autumn breeze, driven by the chase, crisp air I breathe. With every step I take, earth beneath my feet. In nature's beauty, out where the hunter and elk meet. Here's to the wild places where the elk and I both roam. The chase that brings us closer to the place that I call home. In the stillness of the forest, in the grandeur of the land, I am one with nature's wonder, with my bow here